Who's that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? Who's that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? Time to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's time, it's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge. It's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. Here we go. We're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Fence fam? Joe Everest, the fence expert. For the next few weeks, we've got a series of interviews I think you guys are going to get a ton of value out of. We're interviewing the presidents of the regional chapters of the American Fence Association about who they are, who their chapter is, the areas the chapter covers, really what it is to be a regional chapter, and how you can get involved if you're not already. For more information, you can navigate to the American Fence Association's website, AmericanFenceAssociation.com. Look under the membership tab and regional chapters. With all that being said, let's get into the interview. All right, guys, for today's interview, we've got a guy that a lot of you probably already know, but Mike, for maybe the 4 or 5 people out there that haven't met you yet, a brief introduction.
Sure. My name's Mike Levy, and I run National Metal Industries out of Long Island, New York. And I'm chapter president this year of the Long Island, New York chapter. And This is not my first term. I've done a term back in '08. Enjoyed it. Stayed on the board. Did multiple parts. I've been secretary. I'll never be treasurer. I don't want that aggravation.
Sure.
But anywhere I could fill in and hopefully get my ideas to move the chapter along. I love working with the other board members. We've had some great people. I've been a couple of my customers were board members or presidents. For instance, Kenny Peel was a chapter president who made me come to the meetings, and that's what we all have to do. Is we got to try and drag the newbies into the meetings and basically get them to see what we're doing and have the conversations, hanging around the bar before the meeting, the good guest speakers at the meetings, and then the projects. And so Kenny Peel got me in, made me secretary right away. And I got to tell you, what happens is it helps you get out of your shell. And it helps you. When I started doing it, I was probably 28, 29 years old. I really didn't even like going into a setting with a group of people. And now I don't feel as intimidated walking into into even the show, into the cocktail hour there. So it definitely gives you a boost of confidence. It has for me, at least. Some people just have it naturally, and just the comfort level of being around people. And that's why actually I encourage people to be a part of the YFP. They're really promoting that so that we could get more people involved. And it's not for younger people. It's just for the inexperience of our association who've not been a part of it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
On the chapter level, New York, we're trying to branch out throughout our whole state.
Okay.
So we just had a recent meeting up in Buffalo, New York, which is the most west north area of our chapter. We got to see a game between Toronto Maple Leafs played New Jersey.
Nice.
And I'm sorry, Buffalo Sabres versus New Jersey. So nice. At least New York won. So I'm very happy about that, although I'm an Islander fan. And but that's what something that I envisioned a while back was to try and get the chapter meetings involved in like maybe a sports event, like a baseball game or a hockey game, so that we could get even rivalry between chapters. And trying to get some of the Jersey chapter members up there. We're going to still do that. We're trying to do that with Massachusetts. And the nice thing is having the meeting up in Buffalo, we actually got a couple people to join the association. And there are people up there that really want to move our chapter to have more engagement up there. We're doing one in where we were traditionally just Long Island.
Okay.
And we were not getting people from over the bridge. And we're actually doing a meeting in Westchester on July 2nd. And we're just looking to do quadrants of the state, have 4 different areas where we could have meetings, and looking for chapter projects in those areas, and where we could just do more and more as a chapter for the association.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, there's a few things in there I'd like to kind of tease out a little bit.
Yep.
In the beginning, you said you had gotten involved because you had some ideas and you wanted to make sure your voice was heard.
Right.
Can you talk through that a little bit about because the reason I ask is, lately there are a lot of ideas floating around in social media about what should or shouldn't be done, by the association or maybe in the industry as a whole, let's say.
Sure.
Can you walk me through maybe your experience on, having your ideas or having your voice heard by being involved in your local chapter?
Sometimes you have a little issue with like the old regime, like kind of thing, where the presidents of the past or the current presidents don't really want to do something. They're set in their ways where like we were going to like a restaurant that was a little more stuffy but it was a little cheaper. It was fine. It was good. But I wanted to entice people, and so did Mike DiLorenzo of Wayside Fence. We're trying to make it more lively. Like we've gone to restaurants that have a little bit more kick to it. Just trying to make things more enjoyable. Years ago, we did a fishing trip. We'd like to bring that back. Something like Top Golf would be nice. Things that the other chapters do, but we're trying to connect with even nonprofits around Long Island or upstate New York, like the Tunnel from to Towers, which is a 9/11 nonprofit that something like that we're looking to do. Nice. I keep going back to trying to do something for dogs, veterans who have the why am I blanking on the name of the service dogs, and trying to do dog runs for that locally on Long Island. So we got a couple things, interests, ideas. Hopefully we could get more of a turnout.
Sure. So it sounds like by getting involved, you have had your voice heard, right?
Yeah.
And you were able to kind of enact the change you were looking for.
Yes. JFK Airport has JetBlue has a hotel called the TWA Hotel. It's the old terminal that TWA was, and I'm really pushing to get education there and
nice.
Getting everybody from around the country maybe to fly in to do the testing there and have a good turnout, because New Jersey does a great trade show. Yeah. New England, the chapter in New England does an amazing trade show also. So Long Island doesn't really need a trade show.
Sure.
We just want to party. So, but just to get together, because that is probably the best part of Fence Tech, is getting together, the socializing with the other fence people. Yeah. And because it does turn friendship into money.
Sure. Absolutely.
And it is a good thing.
And it sounds like really what you're aiming towards is member engagement.
Yeah.
Right. Between the education, between the fun outings, the events, it sounds like it's a pretty large focus for you. It's just keeping the members of the chapter and maybe surrounding chapters engaged as well.
Yep.
Nice. So you said, can we talk about the geographical area? You'd hit on it, but let's be a little bit specific about exactly what are the boundaries of the chapter.
So, all of New York. So we have Long Island, we have Buffalo, we're working on Utica, which is mid-state, and then Westchester, which is right over the bridge in this near the city, and then on Long Island, because down here it takes forever to get anywhere. Sure. People from Westchester or just over the bridge don't really want to come to the island, and then so we have to do something for everybody. And
Yeah. Well, absolutely. So the state of New York is really what we're talking about here. So any contractors in the state of New York would fall within your regional chapter.
right. And
Nice.
something that I'm really working on right now is taking the member benefits that the association is providing as really an offset, and the savings from that covers dues. I mean,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
one thing could really pay for the year.
There's quite a lot
And,
there.
yeah,
And yeah, absolutely. And a lot of guys, I don't know. I mean, we get a lot of emails about it. So, I mean, obviously there's awareness to it, but maybe they just don't know how deep the savings go, maybe.
right.
But you're exactly right. I think you could probably more than offset, depending on the size of your company and the size of your dues.
Hmm.
You could certainly at least offset dues.
Sure.
I bet some of the smaller contractors that the dues may be a little bit smaller could do even better than offsetting.
Yeah. And so the reason I bring that up is I'm using one of the member benefits called UniFirst,
Okay.
and they're a they're a company that does like the clothing, the
Yeah.
uniform clothing.
Like uniforms. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But they also do all the courses, like the 10-hour course, CPR,
Oh, okay.
all the OSHA things, sexual harassment. And so I'm trying to entice UniFirst to come to our meetings, do the education at our meetings,
Yeah.
and possibly form a day around some of their courses and have the dinner together with that. So
Absolutely.
something that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you've got member engagement and some education going
Yep.
on at the same time.
Yeah. So
Now you talked about meetings. About how often are you guys meeting?
so that's a major issue, maybe my fault for the this term. And we're not getting as much engagement or turnout, so it's been a little tough lately.
Sure.
It's also when in the last season or two, nobody really seems to want to come around, and we're changing that. I think maybe it's because I'm terrible at committing to dates,
Sure.
so I
Sure.
can't. I hate booking anything, so. I think Melanie and Mike Di Lorenzo are going to do a much better job going forward with booking and really setting times for the upcoming meetings. Melanie Goodwin will be the president next year, and she's on top of it. She's part of Ladies in Fence.
Nice.
I could be saying it wrong. I'm not sure if it's lady or women in fence, but it is what it is. That's
Sure.
what it is.
Sure. Sure.
So, but all these programs that we're rolling out, they're good things for enticing people to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you also mentioned Young Fence Professionals.
Yeah.
A great group of people leading it. Great group of people just in that group as a whole. And I think you made a great point that we ought to hit on. So Young Fence Professionals. So when I first heard about it, I was like, well, this is a few years ago, but I was like, I'm in my mid to late 30s. Like, I don't know if I qualify for Young Fence Professionals. And that's when they're like, well, no, it's actually not like an age. Cause I had asked like, what's the age cutoff for this? Cause I might not be, it might not be appropriate for me to be there. And they said, no. It's really, age in the industry.
Right.
Right. And I said, well, okay. But again, like I've been in the industry quite a while, so I don't know, like, I just don't want to overstep or show up for somewhere where I wouldn't, belong as closely maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like what they've got going on is also setting up the mentorship, right? Like trying to pair guys and gals that are newer in the industry with folks that have been in the industry for quite a bit longer to again, provide mentorship or just guidance because I mean, your business is obviously quite a ways away from my business, but our businesses are probably alike in several ways,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we've probably faced similar challenges, They might look a little bit different, but customers are customers kind of no matter where you are, right?
Sure.
And communication is important no matter where you are, and culture is important no matter where you are. So there's some overlap there that it seems like the young fence professional group is really homing in on to say, hey, we've got a wealth of experience here that we can pair up with just hunger to do better in the industry and really grow in the industry. We can pair these together and really make some magic.
Yes, and definitely make it inclusive to the people who are new to the industry, whether they just were hired by a local fence company or even a major corporation, and know there's somebody to talk to here.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's likely been through what they're going through already, or a version of it.
Yep.
You also talked about service projects, and this is something that I really didn't know before getting involved in our regional chapter. Can you talk a little bit about the service projects, maybe what they are in general, and maybe a little bit more specifically about some recent projects you guys have done?
So we haven't done one in a while, but we did do one for a TV show that replaced a whole house.
Okay.
George the Rescue was done a while back, but we did the fence. The manufacturers supply the materials, the fence contractors will put it up, and it's a good cause. We also do, we work together with a local outreach center, and like going forward, working on trying to get I want to try and do something at the Veterans Hospital or anything we could do. I have a friend who's we're trying to work together on Suffolk Police Department, which is the east half of Long Island. The police department for dog runs for their canines, but we'll see what we can do. And
really what they usually come down to, just in my experience about hearing about all these chapter projects, is using our trades, our skill set to better our communities.
Right.
Through the umbrella of the American Fence Association, but it's actually us as individual fence professionals. And it's like you're talking about, it can be, renovation shows, or it can be local municipalities. There's also, I've talked about projects at like community ballparks, that sort of thing, repairing fence, and really using our trade and our skill set to, again, better our local communities.
Right. Exactly.
Nice. And I think it's nice that the regional, chapters organize these, because we all know about projects in our own backyard, but it's really hard to know like what the need is, to your point, across the state.
Right.
Just because it's so far away, maybe not geographically, but in travel, it's quite a ways away.
Yes.
But the regional chapters really kind of bring that to, kind of highlight those needs.
And that's why connecting with a nonprofit like Tunnels to Tower is a great way to connect and just do good for the local community. I keep going back to hockey. The New York Islanders do something, and I'm trying to work with hopefully the Islanders to do something together where it just brings light to the area that the AFA is something that is a association that means well and is making fence professionals, and that's not just some guy on a truck pulling up with a couple sections to do your backyard.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and with the community projects, I think what the push is also is to try to connect and make sure these community organizations know that, hey, AFA is here to support you any way we can.
Right.
If you have a fencing need, reach out, let us know. We got a great group of guys and gals that would love to put their trade, to work for the better of everyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Mike, so the state of New York is the territory we're talking about. If a contractor's in the state of New York, how and they haven't talked to you or talked to someone about joining the local chapter or the regional chapter, how would they go about doing that?
They could reach me at my company, National Metal Industries. The website's nmifence.com. You can find the email there. We have a website, American. You could reach us on Facebook. It's, I'm sorry, I don't have the website for it.
That's all right. What we'll do is we'll include it in the description. That way you guys can check it out.
Yep. Thank you.
Of course. Happy to.
And yeah, so you could reach me, Mike DiLorenzo at Wayside Fence. His website is waysidefence.com. And we'll try, or just reach out to the AFA.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's another great resource is so the AFA's website does provide, hey, here is an actual representation of the United States. Here's the region. And then also your guys' contact information directly.
Yep.
So if you guys are watching and maybe aren't in the state of New York, but are interested in getting in touch with a regional chapter, AFA.com, navigate to the regional chapters and figure out where you can get plugged in.
Sounds good.
Go from there.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I appreciate your time. I really do, Mike. I know everyone's busy. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk about your regional chapter and the AFA as a whole.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Mike. Of course.
Thanks.
Guys, appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if you'd like to learn more about the New York chapter, we'll include it in the description below, or ways to get in touch in the description below. As always, AFA.com is a great resource to start your journey. If you're not in this region, but interested in reaching out to your regional chapter. For now, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, and we'll see you next time.